The Niagara Parks hosted a public information session to provide information on their environmental stewardship role along the Niagara River corridor.
Today we're actually going to be unveiling our urban forest management strategy. So I look at it this way: a strategy involves a whole pile of different approaches. One of the key things I wanted to mention about it is the idea of 4 quadrants of a circle. So we look at the species that are within Niagara Parks. We want to certainly preserve species. We look at diversity of species, we look at habitat, and we also look at the visual resource.
The session also provided information about several key projects that are currently underway.
We spend a lot of time trying to develop different tactics to be able to reach out to the community. It's super important that they understand all of what Niagara Parks is about. I mean, an organization that's been around since 1885 with a mandate to preserve the Niagara River corridor, it's a big responsibility, and that's part of the story that we want to communicate to people, that it's not just about the falls. I mean, the majority of people do want to see the falls, but there's so much more along the 56 kilometers. So if you think about where we are right now in the Glen, one of the most ecologically important areas in Niagara Parks, it's a great story to share. And a lot of visitors come specifically to experience the Nature Glen. As other aspects of the parks attract different types of visitors, we really want to be able to communicate that message to everyone.
The Niagara Parks have established goals for restoring native species as well as enhancing other areas along the Niagara River corridor.
The Niagara River shoreline used to have a natural wetland areas along its edge, and that was very beneficial for fish species. So we've been working with other agency partners to essentially build shelter to trap sediment, to create these little refuge areas for fish as part of an ability to reestablish those coastal wetland conditions along the Niagara River corridor. That's just one program.
Natalie Green was on hand to speak about the Niagara River Remedial Action Plan.
The Niagara River Remedial Action Plan is a partnership organization that involves many different levels of government, for example, Niagara Parks, the Conservation Authority, scientists, First Nations, and local community groups that all work together to protect and restore the Niagara River in order to eventually remove it from the list of Great Lakes areas of concern. Starting in around the 1970s, the pollution problems became very apparent, and the government of Canada and the US signed a Great Lakes Water Quality Agreement and identified severely polluted locations along the Great Lakes, and the Niagara River was one of those that was identified as very polluted because of contamination, bacterial issues, habitat loss, and since 1987 the Niagara River has been listed as one of 43 areas of concern throughout the Great Lakes.
The Niagara Parks also offers the Junior Ranger program.
The Junior Ranger program is an opportunity for high school students to experience work in the field. It's a couple of months long, and we at Niagara Parks would give them opportunities to either work in our pollinator gardens or perhaps do some invasive species management, understanding the difference between species at risk and other types of native plants. It's a hands-on opportunity to expose youth to the variety of landscapes that we've got across the Niagara River corridor.
For more information, visit niagaraparks.com. In Niagara, you're watching The Source.